This week I continue with my skylight and try to keep it as short as possible because it's a lot of skylight topic, I know that. Skylight is done. Let's have a look how I did it. Yesterday I picked up my, you see the onions? Really small this year. But anyway, yesterday I picked up my skylight frame again from the powder coater, and I think it turned out pretty well. Here it is. I think nice and shiny. Yeah, it turned out very well. Maybe a lot of people would say, yeah, I can make a frame myself. You know, that part I trust my skills, but getting the glass in there and seal it that so I don't have a leak in my camper, that is maybe not for me. To take that doubt away from you, I will do it here on this frame step by step so you can see in detail how I do it. So first of all, we need of course a glass unit, which I have here, and you throw it in here and you put caulking around it and you're done. No, that's not so simple. So let's do it step by step. First of all, we need to prepare the glass. There's actually not much to do on the frame right now. First, we have to prep the glass. First of all, we want to give it a clean, right? Just to double check we have no scratches in the glass, because if we put it in the skylight, you know, and then we get bothered over the next 5 or 10 years about the scratch in the glass, you don't want to do that. So first, this is the first thing, check the glass for damage, you know, or imperfections. Anyway, pane number 1, you can read here. This is the size. It's every size is different, you know, or every skylight will be different. But pane number 1, which is the outside pane, 6 millimeter, 1/4 inch, temperate, low E, and then the glass type cardinal, right? And S number 2. S means a low E coating on surface number 2. See, the outer one is thicker, 6 mil. The inner one is 4 mil. As you can see, pane number 2, 4 millimeter clear tempered. It's just clear glass, but tempered. So I just checked it on the other side. The 4 mil side is good as well. There is no imperfections or scratches in it. There's a little valve here. One of them has to go in the sides into the spacer of the unit. Now I have cut out a little bit of this caulking material, and I get access to the back of the spacer bar. And now I'm just turning the spacer in there. So the spacer valve is in there, it sits right there. And now I'm going to apply caulking all the way around. You know, so there is also these little noopskis here, you can stick them in so you don't smear stuff in, but I think I can control it without that. And now this is done. I sealed around it, and the spacer, the Swiss spacer, is installed. So now I let this dry and start preparing the skylight frame. So first step is I take a rag and cleaning alcohol, and I clean the inside of this glazing pocket all the way around. The glazing pocket is cleaned, and now we're going to apply this butyl tape. So I have here a 1/4 inch butyl tape, yeah, or shim tape, call it. And here, just in case, I have 1/8 in case of I'm not tall enough with my unit. I want to get all the way up to the top, you know, then I might add a smaller layer on top of the 1/4 inch, but that's what I don't know yet. So I'm starting with applying this one first. So the paper flush here on that edge. Now I peel this back a little. As you can see, it is set inwards because I made the paper flush. I have applied the butyl tape all the way around. Now I'm taking the unit, place it in here to see where I end up, you know, at the very top, or if I be not at the very top, I might have to add 1/8 layer on top of this butyl tape. So let's see. There you go. Could be good, could be not. Let's see if this is, oh no. No, I have to add, no. See what I mean? If you see that here, the gap underneath here, it's too low. The glass is too low. I should come up to this height. So I have to add 1 layer. I added a second layer of butyl tape on top of the first. And let's do a dry fit now. Goes in there. Okay. Oh yeah. Now I'm a little too high. Okay. I'm a tiny bit too high now. So what I'm going to do is I will take a roller and roll on the butyl, take the unit out again, and roll on the butyl to press them down. Okay, now I have all the butyl peeled, so the paper peeled from the butyl. So the butyl is exposed now. And what I'm going to do now is I use actual butyl, and what I'm going to do is I apply, before I drop the unit in there, I apply a tiny concave bead along the edges, right there, just to close this up. So you see here, that is now the build up so far. I got 2 layers of butyl tape, 1/4 inch and then 1/8 because we didn't reach all the way to the top. And then I took a butyl and closed from the butyl tape a concave bead to the wall of this glazing pocket all the way around. So that is now already closed, sealed, basically on the outside of the unit, right? So that is everything we do before, or I do before I drop the unit in, and that's what I'm doing as next. This is number 1. And number 2. Now I want a gap all the way around the same size, the way I want, where I want it. Good. Still a tiny bit high, but that's okay. So that's okay. So basically my glass surface is higher, a tiny bit higher than the highest frame surface, so water runs off and right away down. So what I'm doing now is I push a foam rod in here all the way around. So there's foam rods available, you know, like with different densities. Some they're bigger and softer, and some they are higher dense, you know, but smaller. So there's all sorts of stuff on the market, but that one, the small one, will work for me. So I will push this in here. So that's the last little bit, and then we can tick that off with the foam rod. Foam rod is in now. Why the foam rod? The foam rod is basically avoiding that we're applying too much silicone in there. This unit is 1 inch tall. So if you fill everything with silicone, you can imagine if this cures through, this unit has a tough time to expand. This one is crazy, you know, exposed to the sunlight, so it will expand all the time. It heats up during the day, it will expand, and then during nighttime it cools down and it shrinks again. So therefore, if you squirt so much silicone in here that it cures through, this is like almost like concrete. It holds the unit, it can't expand well, you know. And then the second is we have this valve in here, right? And if we fill this all with silicone, you will close the valve and the function as well. Therefore, the foam rod, now I'm going to masking tape this all off because I want to have a nice bead here. I have now masking taped precisely. I allowed a 1/4 inch of silicone going onto the white framing, and only a heavy 16th, almost an 1/8 onto the glass. And of course, here in the cavity, right in the gap, it will be all filled all the way down to the foam rod. So, but the next step, what I'm doing is using this material, and that is primer. There's a lot of people out there, they have used the silicone, but they never primed it. But on a roof where you have standing water, you want to make sure you don't have a silicone bead failure. If you clean this with alcohol, the silicone probably will hold good on it, but if you apply primer, and if you follow my channel, then you know all about primers, it will be even better. So a breakdown on a silicone bead is most likely not gonna happen if you use primer. The primer will give us the best adhesion to the frame and to the glass. And that's why I'm taking a little sponge and I go around the edges and apply primer. And then you have to let it air off. The silicone I'm using is a Dow product. It's called Dowsil 795. And the primer is also a Dowsil product. It's called Dowsil 1200 OS primer. So now I'm priming the edge of the glass. So I let that air off now for a few minutes, you know, and then I will go up and apply the silicone. By the way, is UV resistance, which is very, very important on a skylight. You need to have a UV resistant silicone. Now we get started with the fun part and fill the gap. So fill the gap nice and even, move slow, make sure something comes back out. You need to apply more than what the gap is. For some people it looks like a waste. It is a little bit, but I press enough in there and make sure that this is all filled. So now we have to tool it. Therefore I have a putty knife. It's like that, slightly kinked. All I do is put it in here, mimic my slope, and just pull it off. And now I'm peeling the tape. So the tape needs to be peeled as long as the silicone is fresh. You cannot wait until it's cured, because then you won't be able to peel it back at all. And that's it. That's all I can do for the next 24 hours. I have to let it sit there and cure before I can move it or do something else with it. New day, new luck. Today I'm preparing the frame, or basically today I'm finishing the skylight. So what needs to be done, the caulking is basically dried now, you know. And now I'm going to install the insulation here in this pocket, install the wood trim around it in order to install the gas struts. Therefore I need to have the trim in place. Now the first trim is installed. I glue them on, and I have to beef them away by 2 millimeters from the metal, because I'm going to install a trim at the top so that this has a nice finish at the top. Now the wood trims on the interior or inside of the skylight are installed all the way. I just finished this last little piece there. Now I'm going to sand it a little bit and then wax it, and then finally install the trim here at the top. And the top trim is done as well, you know, all the way around. But overall, it looks okay. So now I'm going to attach the lid to the hinges and then the struts. And there is my skylight, ready done, ready for install. And one thing to the shocks, not the shocks, to the gas struts. We had some comments in the previous video about the right position, how to install the gas struts, you know, and which way they work best. I'm not advice resistant, and I totally agree with you guys. When you install the gas struts, the cylinder should be up. That way the shocks work the best. It is true, they dampen at the end. So you see here, it opens fast and then it goes slow in end position. So that's only if you install these gas struts the right way. So again, it goes open speed and then it stops and goes slow until the end. So very nice. Thanks for your comments, guys. And also, thank you very much for all the subscriptions lately. Makes me super happy and motivates a lot. So here's my skylight. Next is the install. So I have sanded the underside of the skylight and I have used the activator. And now I'm going to prime it again with Sika 207 because I'm using Sika 252 to glue this the skylight into the habitat. So on top of the roof, right? So no screws will be applied. I'm not planning on it because that crazy glue, like that 252, is so strong it will hold my skylight on the roof forever. Oh, we're pushing it down into the glue. In it is. Oh, yeah, it came glue out here. Holy smokes. Okay.
It's clean up front.
But that means there's a lot in it. That's okay. I cut this back as soon as it's dry. Well, how tall is this? It's about 3 inches. 75 mil. I have to measure later. I don't have a measuring device with me. No, that's good. The bead looks good. Coming out everywhere. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So I can't open it yet. I taped it from the outside. I want to let the glue cure. But it fits like a glove. So now I will have a trim from here on merging to the ceiling right there. So this is it from me this week, and in general with the topic skylight. This is now done. Yeah, I hope you could take something with you from that. Have self-confidence to make your own, you know. So next week I'm not sure what I'm showing. It depends on what I can get done. You know, I worked on the window trims and stuff like that. You know, I may show you that. I do have some progress in the habitat. You know, slightly, but I was focused this week on getting the skylight done so I can finish that kind of series. You know, the skylight series. You know, and yeah, stay tuned, and we see us in the next one.